I just want to preface going into this movie review or video on the channel that this is going to have spoilers of Robert Eggers' new movie, Nosferatu, that came out on Christmas Day. And look at me, getting this video out, I believe on the 27th, which is one of the more impressive things I've been able to do on this channel. I went and saw the movie, and boom, hopped right into my review, which may be to my detriment because after watching Nosferatu, I don't know what the fuck just happened. Do I mean that in a good way? I don't know. Do I mean that in a bad way? I don't know. So I'm going to try to, after just freshly watching this movie, bring it back and break this down in some of the sections or parts that I can think of that might determine if this movie is good or bad, because watching it, I can't say if it's objectively bad, but I certainly can't say it's objectively good, and I feel like I'm going to be on the wrong side of the spectrum when it comes to the majority of the audience watching this film. It's a relatively new movie, more people need to go out and watch and see it, and after the holidays, it may take some time for more audience reactions and reviews to come out to this movie, but don't know. I don't know. And I want to preference too, by the way, I apologize if I sound weird. Hearing myself talk, I actually sound a little bit back to normal, but I got some bronchitis going on. I had to call out of work for the first time today in my life. I've never called out of work ever, and it was like I just desperately needed to get to the doctor to get some medication. After going to the doctor, I've been in a coma for the majority of the day from NyQuil and Jack in the Box tacos, because that's good. I talked about on the channel before how this is one of my most anticipated movies of 2024. Very excited for the film. Love Robert Eggers as director. Lily-Rose Depp has not been in great movies in the past, but from the trailers looked like that she was going to be great. Spoiler alert, she fucking is. Nicholas Holt, amazing actor, and Taylor Johnson, can't get out of the way of money. Wilem Defoe, come on, who doesn't love the Green Goblin? Basically what this looked like to me was this was a recipe for success. This was a fantastic director with a fantastic cast. Skarsgård. Forgot to put that one in there. With a fantastic cast and a fantastic premise, and was able to put together something that was, at the very least, I can say it was an extremely artistic movie. Getting into the goods of the movie, obviously the cinematography, Robert Eggers, of course. This movie is dark, it's gothic, the setting is fantastic. Is it the scariest movie since The Conjuring or The Shining? No, but I don't really think that was the point. I think what Robert Eggers did was to set out to make a artistic-looking, feeling movie. And for what it's worth, that was a success. In order to do that, you have to have a great setting, you have to have a great cinematography look, you have to have a great cast of characters and actors who are able to bring that vision to life. He has all of those things, but in my opinion, may have sacrificed it for some of the story elements, which I'll get to in a few seconds here. But as far as the movie looks, it's gorgeous, it's beautiful, it's one of the best looking movies that have come out this year, if not the best. But I'm going into this review hoping that you already know that this was going to be a step above everything else. I anticipated it to be a step above everything else, and it certainly was. Soundtrack-wise, it's good. Nothing to, I would say, losing my mind about it. I was more focused on the cinematography of the film than the sound design and the score. But it was still, it was gothic and it was creepy and it was what you thought it was. It sufficed. It was really good. Getting to the acting of the film, which is easily the highlight of this movie, starting off like Defoe can't do any wrong whatsoever. I see a lot of people shitting on Aaron Taylor Johnson in this film just because of his accent. Didn't bother me, actually. He was one of the more real characters in this movie where he was like, what the fuck is going on? And I related to that. Oh my god, a little, I may have should have, like him. And tragic fucking tale he's got in this thing. I was like, god damn, guy cannot catch a break. Nicholas Holt murdered it, especially the more high-impact scenes when he needed to be terrified. He plays terrified extremely well. Looked fucking like he was petrified in reality. Bill Skarsgård to play Nosferatu, Count Orlok. I guess his name's not Nosferatu, it's Count Orlok. But yeah, I think that Bill Skarsgård was the correct choice. I think that he did a really great job. I think that he is unfortunately destined to play creepy, giant, supernatural characters for the rest of his life because he brings them to life, such as Pennywise, such as Count Orlok. The voice is great. The makeup was great. The only thing I'm like crazy about is they gave him a mustache, which, not bad. Like, I don't look at it and I'm like, that's bad. I look at it and I'm like, it's kind of why, but different, I guess. He was fucking evil in this movie, and even though, and again, spoilers, he did the plague, the most evil thing he did was the fucking murdering of the children was insane. The killing of the children and the wife is fucking unbelievable. I mean, and it is depicted as just, oh man. And then the standout actor/actress of this movie was Lily-Rose Depp. Her acting was fucking, nomination worthy. Fantastic. It really is in a class. Oh my god. Facial expressions to the, body horror of when she was being possessed and even the high emotional scenes when she's crying and she's it is so good. It's so good. But then there's parts of this movie, acting's fantastic, the cinematography's fantastic, the main villain had a great look and was acted well, and the score is fantastic. What about this movie that I'm pause on is the story side of things, which I wasn't expecting most insane story ever. I thought it was going to be kind of simple, kind of the original 1920s movie, and I don't quite remember the 1920s movie. I watched a video on it not too long ago. But this one, this telling of Nosferatu is for some reason very horny. And the main purpose of this movie is to my knowledge, what I was able to tell through the accents and the Shakespearean way of talking throughout the dialogue, is that Count Orlok wants to bang Nicholas Holt's wife, Lily-Rose Depp. And he goes out laying the Count Orlok cock. And oh my god, just don't know if that was something that I like to see. They had a semi-odd sex scene with Nicholas Holt and Lily-Rose Depp. That was kind of weird too. I get it. I understand the narrative side of these things. It's just weird, a little odd. I'm all in on the sacrifice at the end that she gave herself to him while he was being tricked that the castle was burning down, and then he died, so she technically sacrificed herself to end the plague. And I'm gonna have to wrap up here because I might die, but I thought that the movie picked up when he finally gets to the town from the boat and starts to spread the plague. I thought, it starts to pick up, but I would have liked to spend more time in that, show more of the monstrosities that he's doing on top of the plague, kind of dive into that a little bit more. And I know that his main focus is his wife, or his bride, and his eyes, and Lily-Rose Depp, but I would have loved to see that a little bit more. The first half of the movie, when Nicholas Holt goes to the castle, is odd. It's very choppy. They're bouncing in between multiple different characters and multiple different plot points, especially the point where Holt gets attacked, falls asleep, and wakes up. It seemed like fucking 3 times in the same castle, which was odd. And he out and wakes up with some naked people, Sam from the Bite or whatever, and I don't know why that was never really reintroduced or talked about. It was briefly talked about at the end of the movie after the wife and kids die, and then it wasn't really brought up again. Could have helped, maybe. I don't think anything happened to them. But still, Nosferatu, as far as a film in an artistic sense, it is in that vein. It's a step above. It's a step in that level. Just in the cinematography and the acting alone, I really, really love this film. I just don't know if it's going to be something that I go back to revisit for rewatchable purposes, which is fine. Not every movie needs to do that. And this film feels very Robert Eggers. I just don't know if I can really say that it's Jesus. Sorry. I'm fucking dying. I don't know if I can really say it's Robert Eggers' best film. Whenever you have insane movies like The Lighthouse and The Northman in there, it feels like that a lot. But I don't know if it's in that tier, and it might be unfair of me to say that. It might be unfair of me to say, for me to say that. It's 2 a.m. Maybe I just put too much expectations and anticipation behind this film. But what I can say is when it comes to cinematography, it comes to the acting, and it comes from a lot of the points in this film, it absolutely delivered on what my expectations were. But do I think it's a 10 out of 10 masterpiece, blew me out of the water film? I don't know if I do think that way, but to be fair, not a lot of the films do these days. Like even Oppenheimer for me wasn't a 10 out of 10 blow me out of the fucking water movie. I can't remind you or think of the last time I saw a 10 out of 10 movie that blew me out of the fucking water. But with that being said, if I had to give Nosferatu a number value, I feel like putting it in the 6 category out of 10 is a fucking kind of a kick in the nuts, and it doesn't feel right. But I feel like whenever you get to the 8s and the 9s and 10s, you start getting into the great and fantastic territory. It's not a 10. I don't think it's a 9. 8 sounds right, but for this, I'll give it a 7 just in case. I gotta sleep on it. Maybe if I sleep on it, I'll have more of an understanding or a different feeling of this movie. But for me, still very good. Not phenomenal or fantastic by any means, but definitely nowhere near a bad movie. So Nosferatu, in a tier list, really great film. I'm going to give it a 7. Let me know what you thought of the movie. Drop it in the comments below. And I also saw Wicked on Christmas Day. Coughed and wheezed throughout that one too. I'm not giving myself a lot of opportunities to recover here, I guess. But my mom loves Wicked, and she wanted to go see Wicked, and that was one of my Christmas presents to her. So yeah, I'll talk that soon. We'll see if I'm feeling better. I was going to record the videos back to back tonight, but I don't think that that's going to happen because I'm coughing and wheezing throughout the entirety of this one. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, love, adios, bye.